So I'm using the actual creme brulee gun. And it seems to be doing a nice job heating up the Kydex. And it just starts turning glossy when it's ready to work. And I'm just trying to get that to flatten out just a touch, just to help so I can put the fasteners in. Alright, so I got that flattened out, so now I should be able to get my rivets through. And this seems to be working quite well. If you keep it far enough away, it hasn't affected the grain. If anything, it's sort of brought some of the color back to it, or some of the gloss, so I'm going to have to figure out how to do that over the whole blade, or over the whole sheath, pardon me. Alright, I'm a little distracted, and I shouldn't be, by my battery life, so alright, I just have to try to get this flattened out a little bit. Oh, wonderful. Wow. That is bloody hot. Alright. So I've got my first two holes done, and I've gotten it thinned out to where I need it to be. We've got two different types of connectors here. We have basically a screw with a slotted side and a receptor. We have a grommet, and we have a punch. I don't have a press. This is a very cheap item, so you just basically whack it a few times and you set your grommet to the way you want. And usually you would take this side and leave it pointing on the nice side of the sheath. Alright, so I was just trying to figure out where to place the hardware. I determined where I wanted my first pin, or my first hole to go, and my last one. And from there it was just a straight job of measuring. So from here to here, following the radius of the sheath, is almost 24 centimeters. So just a little under 6 centimeters between each of the holes, and then I tried to keep a steady setback. You can't see the marks very well. There's one right here, way out of focus. That will be where I'm drilling. Last hole I'll be using a screw, and the screw has a different diameter, so I have a different bit for that. This holds the grommet. Put the grommet through. I have to make sure this is oriented right before I actually do this, so just give me one moment. Okay, so the sheath is going to, this is going to be the good side here, so of course I want to take the factory side and use it. Push that through. So I got my mallet and we're going to give this a couple of whacks. And it's coming along. Hasn't quite grabbed perfectly yet. So we have that side here. This side just not quite coming through, so I'm going to come back to that one a little bit later. And might as well start on this one. I think I'm going to go to a heavier hammer. Soft-based hammer is not working. And it was a little rough on that one. So I'll probably punch it out and start over a little bit later on. Now I'm just going to go back to this one and see if I can just get a little more of a press through on that. And it worked. Alright. So it's a rinse repeat operation after I pull that one out. We have two screws here, a screw here, and then the grommets. So just give the sheath a light heating, soften it up just a little bit. Just that thing back and forth. So nerve-wracking working with a razor sharp Kukuri, because you know it's going to cut you. It's just a matter of when. So after working the blade back and forth, I've marked a line where I'm going to actually try cutting that down to. It's going to take a little bit of the retention clip off of it that I kind of purposely designed, and that should loosen it up a little bit, remove a little material, and then we'll sort of round it over. We'll do some sanding. I have the barn door closed, so no wardrobe malfunctions for this run. So it doesn't take much to get that off. So the battery's running low, and I have to think of an elegant way to be able to attach this to my belt. This is the manner in which I want to be able to carry this. Well, if you're anything like me, you've got tons of pieces of strapping kicking around. So I'm going to use that one for my belt loop. I'm going to fold it over so I have a double thickness. Place that in. That will fit nicely as a loop. And it'll also give me a little eye hole here. I can cut that off or I can keep it as just an alternate way of grabbing the knife when it's not connected to my belt. So let's see how that works. Alright, so I tried drilling a couple of holes in here and I was only moderately successful. So we heat up the nail. nice burned out hole here. So the old hot nail through the nylon trick. Just make sure you find a safe spot to put the nail. Sugar. Alright. What I lack in grace, I make up for in something else. So I have a little bit of playing to do, but in essence, here's the knife. Alright. Well, I'll post a few stills and a couple pictures of me wearing it, and thanks for watching. So here's the sheath. The thing with it is you can have the curve kind of follow a little bit. Pulling it out's not too bad, like I said. Press with the thumb. I kind of flared that out a little bit. Press with the thumb. It comes out nicely. Or press down when you know you're going to need to take it out. And it comes out quickly.